morning, good evening, everyone. This is Luda Kopikina with GAI Insights. Welcome to Daily AI News, where we rate articles essential, important, or optional. Today, we have a great crew: Adam, Paul, John, Ankaj, and a guest for today, Chris Brook, who actually comes periodically and has great insights. So welcome, Chris.
Good morning.
All right, so let's proceed with the first article. And the articles you can find at gaiinsights.com/articles. And please follow along and let us know what you think versus what we are talking about. Great, let's start with the first one. Ankaj, please.
Thanks, Luda. So the first one that we have for today comes from Mistral, and it is titled Mistral 2, Mistral Vibe CLI. Yes,
Adam. Comes from Z, and it's a. Oh no, I'm sorry. Comes from Mistral, sorry, and it's the next development model with lots of capabilities and a vibe coder. What did you think about this?
Yeah, I think this is probably optional news. It's mostly incremental. It's them stepping up to the plate and showing that open source and what they're doing to bring their sort of game to the market is competitive at state-of-the-art levels, both in larger models as well as in very small models. So this is DevStral 2. It's not their first DevStral, and then DevStral Small 2. So DevStral Small, and the whole deal here is basically that the cost for the performance is much better than anything else out there. They did, in all fairness, show some model comparison against DeepSeek, a similar model to themselves. So showing how they're really winning the open source, but also showing how, again, something like Sonnet 4.5, they still have a ways to go. So they're being quite pragmatic and honest about the fact that open source is still trailing behind the proprietary models, but they're remaining competitive and fast on their heels. So, it's a sharp space. They also now have a CLI product. So there's an open source, effectively vibe coding assistant that can use tools and do all sorts of commands right in your command line. Great news for the open source community. Great news for people who want small, capable models out on the edge, but overall, probably an optional development.
Yeah, I really liked it that you could now actually examine your code base and talk to it in natural language, pull in components, examine them, find the interactions, and it's really becoming like a really cool environment. Chris, what did you think about this one?
I think it's a great idea to go open source, especially with AI agents. I think it's an optional article, but it's amazing to see the progress of these open source models.
Okay, sounds like we're going optional on this one. John?
Optional.
And Ankaj, you look at these models all the time. What did you think?
Optional for me as well, Luda. I agree with Adam. Optional announcement.
Okay.
So just a footnote, Luda. So this is a funded company. They raised, what, $1 billion or $500 million recently out of Europe doing an open source model. DeepSeek has been rocking the world, but yet doesn't have a truly open source coding model yet, which I assume they're working on or are gunning for these guys as well. Is that correct? Yeah.
I think that's correct, Paul. But this is not just a coding model. It's very much integrated into the environment type of model. Optional article, but yeah, it's getting really well integrated. Okay,
and
so
as it says there, which has always been Mistral's game, up to 7 times more cost efficient than Claude Sonnet.
That's right, integrated and cost efficient.
But
okay,
this game is
optional it is. Let's proceed to the next one. Ankaj, please.
So the next one comes from the Wall Street Journal, and it is titled Sam Altman's Sprint to Correct OpenAI's Direction and Fend Off Google.
Yeah, on a number of parameters, OpenAI is losing ground. And so this is the article recalibrating what is happening. What did you think about this one, Chris?
So I have a definite special place in my heart for OpenAI. This week, 3 years ago, I started my Facebook group, and it was called at the time ChatGPT for Business and Life. A year ago, I made the change to AI for Business and Life. And I think this article is speaking to that current realization at ChatGPT that their platform is in a very competitive market, and Google is coming on very strong. They have a very strong consumer base, but they're losing a lot in the enterprise, especially coding side, to Claude, Anthropic's platform. So Sam Altman is at this roads of almost an existential crisis, this emergency to pivot back to some of the corrections they made in the 4.0 model, where there was a lot of uproar about the model and how it was contributing to mental health issues out of the hundreds of millions. Somewhere, I believe it said 800 million people are using OpenAI and 500 million regularly. With that, hundreds of thousands of people were identified to be having mental lapses, even up to the point of suicidal tendencies. And there's over 250 cases that have amassed against OpenAI. So they changed their model. Turns out they realized that giving people what they want, the larger group of giving them that earlier AI that was very supportive, is the move that they are going to go with, even though there is some real critical issues that could equate to for users that have mental health problems. But I guess by the books, Sam Altman believes give the people what they want. So the majority of people are going to drive this direction of a consumer-driven OpenAI.
So what's your rating here, you think?
So with that long analysis, I say that it's important. I don't think it's an essential reading. It's more of what's the beat on the street with OpenAI's pivot and where they see themselves.
Okay. John, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I originally thought. I originally thought optional, but listening to Chris and thinking about it, I think it's important. I mean, it's an interesting. You have a company that's one of the market leaders. I think, this notion of going for AGI versus what customers want, and it's interesting. I think it's kind of a false dichotomy, but I understand it is incremental improvement. I think OpenAI's got a tough row to hoe, I think, because they're in a capital intensive business where they don't have the economic flows of many of their competitors, especially Google and Microsoft. And so it's going to be. I mean, I think they're trying to get into orbit before their rocket fuel runs out. You know what I mean, kind of thing. And to me, it's a no brainer. I mean, I wouldn't as soon as they went to being a commercial organization. And I understand there were probably some real issues in terms of the internal identity of the organization in this move, but they have to get to big numbers quickly if they're going to take all that money. There's some. It's like the sport of kings. I mean, this is more expensive than horse racing. It's more expensive than yachts. I mean, the people who are backing these guys are making a big bet.
The question, John, is like in any startup, where's your focus, right? So they can go compete in the coding space with enterprises. They can go in other verticals. They can go capture the consumers. What is their revenue model, really? Like and they expose themselves in all of those signing for the compute, right? So they're now between the rock and hard place. So where would they focus to get the revenue? So that's a question. This article doesn't really answer this.
Well, but I think it does, Luda, in the sense that they're saying, look, job one before is AGI, and it happens to spin off some products, if I understand right. And this is very different. This is, okay, what do customers want? Yeah, we'll make them safe so we don't get sued and stuff like that. But what do customers want? We're going to go that way. I think that's a very different focus in terms of where you're putting your developers and good talent.
Right, and that's what consumers want. Paul, what did you think about this article?
This is clickbait to me, although because it was on the front cover of Wall Street Journal on the print version, A1, I have it as essential. I mean, we're talking with dozens of companies where the AI leader is in conversations with the companies trying to decide what their 3-year bet is. Is it OpenAI or Microsoft? The executives are going to see in this. All the people in IT who want Microsoft are going to be pushing this article around everywhere. And 3 or 4 companies we know that IT wants Copilot, and all the executives want ChatGPT here. So I think just in terms of staying in front of the politics, because it's on page 1, Wall Street Journal, essential read for a leader. And I think it really highlights the difference of how Sam is doing everything in so many different areas, including hardware devices, and Anthropic's really staying focused on enterprise and even fiscal responsibility here, and even a more mature thing on the safety side.
Right. Very much so. And they've capturing at massive speed, right? The enterprise people. Okay. What did you think about this, Adam? Where were you?
I mean, I have to agree with Paul about not wanting to be caught on the back foot about this article, given its presence. But I feel like we've wasted enough time talking about it, honestly. If I'm an AI leader and I read this, other than wasting a lot of my time talking to other people as well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, other than probably be a little more confused. I don't think it does a very good job of really painting the picture and the competitive landscape in terms of Google's vertical integration and how they match up against Apple. It mentions Nano Banana a couple times, cool, but it like kind of throws Anthropic under the bus as sort of this other thing that's kind of happening, but doesn't really crack open how important that is and what a significant player they are in the market. It's a very, very important piece, essential for people to be aware of. But most of the talk in it is just a bunch of hot air, and it's not really going to do anything to help move the conversation forward, which is, as we'll see later, you need to be multi-model, multi-vendor, multi-agent, and you need to stay agile, and the landscape's going to keep changing, and all of these people are going to keep pivoting.
Yeah.
It's an optional read in my book if it wasn't where it is.
Yeah.
Well said,
totally Adam. With you, Adam. I was optional, but I understand the positioning. Okay, Ankash, you have the last word, and then we need to accelerate.
I'm with Paul, Luda, essential for me as well.
Okay. Yeah, I agree that people need to know, since what's happening with OpenAI. Essentially, it is.
And they can't read it anyway because it's behind a paywall. So everyone's going to be talking about the news they have to pay to go read. We're just selling Wall Street Journal subscriptions.
True. Okay. Essentially, it is. Let's proceed to the next one, please.
Okay, the next one comes from ZAI, and it's about their GLM 4.6V model. And they are saying it's open source multimodal model with native tool use.
Yes, Ankash, if you could please review it for us, that would be great.
So Luda, ZAI, they have released 2 multi-model models now, GLM 4.6V, which is 106 billion parameter model, and a smaller model, which can be on device, which is GLM 4.6V Flash. Both of them have long multimodal context windows, and they have native multimodal tool calling. So they have been trained on this multimodal data and then fine-tune to reason and use these tools that they have been trained on over visuals. I was important on this one, Luda, because this is slightly different from what we have seen with other set of models that we have been discussing. So what this helps agents do is they can see and act in the same loop. So basically, when we feed, let's say, screenshots or PDFs to any other set of models, what they do is they put them in a OCR-only pipeline. They strip it off all the visual identity, the layout, etc., and they only see the text part of it. What they are doing is they have trained this on multi-model images, videos, etc., so they can see the exact layout of what is being fed and understand that, and then take action on top of that. So basically, this helps agents to upgrade software and see documents, and it can see, let's say, a 150-pager financial analysis report and see what's in the notes, how they have done some formulas and stuff. So all of that can be done. So when we need to do stuff like that, I think this kind of RL training becomes important. So I was important for that reason, Luda.
I see. Thank you, Ankash. Adam?
Yeah, I was probably optional overall. Ankash makes some good points. I will say though, I'm pretty excited about this capability in the 9 billion, which is a fairly small model. I'm working on a workshop right now next week on the Gold Coast that's about the NPUs on these most recent laptops. Right, and they're getting to the point. I'm actually going to have the participants do a use case where they actually use the local device to do OCR and have it grade a test. This is for educators. Right. So the idea is you have the handwritten ABC, the student's answers on it, and you give it the grading key. And I'm having trouble finding models that, without a lot of prompt engineering and context engineering, are able to really capably do this kind of OCR. So to see a model at this size that has the kind of capabilities that are being shown here is a significant step forward in terms of the sort of the inference at the edge and the capabilities really coming to that next level in terms of agentic behavior.
So we will flag it for awareness, right? If we say important, we will flag it for awareness.
Exactly.
But not the usage, I don't think. Where are you, Chris, on this one?
I would say optional, but I'm with Adam. The idea that multimodal open source capabilities are being produced where we can get your hands on and actually try is pretty good. I think the current market is probably not even using the paid versions as well as they could. So I don't know if people are jumping to the open source and if the open source is as capable as some of the paid versions. So with that, I'm going to say it's optional.
Okay. Optional. Paul?
Yeah, optional, but just a footnote. I mean, I think we now are 6 to 9 months away from having a truly open source, super easy to use, own your own intelligence on your laptop that is a lot of people want. And we've talked a lot about that. And it's really, I think, a critical part of where it's going.
I'll tell you that because I've been hands-on with this device over the last week here. And between like Ollama and Foundry Local, like you can literally copy and paste 1-2 commands and you're up and running with a local model. It's really, they've already made it so much easier.
You can. All the non-technical people can.
No, literally anyone. I'm going to have a dozen people who have no idea what they're doing, copy and paste the commands, and they'll be running local models.
Okay, we need to move, guys. What we'll do is put it as important for innovation and for awareness, but because they're pushing the envelope, especially on the open space, but this really is optional for the enterprise user. Okay, important, let's flag it. All right, let's proceed to the next one. We still have 4 articles and 10 minutes. Let's go.
Luda. So the next one comes from Menlo Ventures, and it is titled The State of GenAI in the Enterprise 2025.
Yeah, despite that it's coming from the VC firm, it's based on data with a lot of data points. What did you think about this, John?
Yeah, totally essential. I just want to note I was a victim of voter suppression in the last article. The
100%.
Yeah, absolutely essential. Look, Menlo Ventures, I think this is really interesting. I don't know if A16Z started it, but how the venture companies are really publishing all kinds of research that helps promote their book, I think, and also gets entrepreneurs to them. But there's a lot of important stuff in here. I think of all the things in here, I think the relative share of Anthropic, I think, is the most important takeaway. That as an enterprise, they're winning in the enterprise, and also the state of the different open models I thought was very interesting about how Meta has really lost the ability to their llama models have just crashed in terms of use. So I think there's a ton of interesting data here. I think also from there's a very investor centric kind of view of SaaS, that the propensity to buy AI tools from a vendor is about twice what a traditional SaaS product is. And that's huge. If you're an investor, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have great cash conversion early on. So I thought this is very useful. It's telling a story which is fact-based and different than much of the story you hear out there. And it really speaks to, the dynamics in the open system, the open models, as well as Anthropic's strength in the enterprise. And the vital importance of software as a core domain. So essential.
Great. Chris, what did you think about this?
Essential. Best read you'll have on AI, definitely today, maybe this week.
Oh yeah, I really thought this was a great article. Paul?
Essential, and I think just a pile on Meta. I was making my list of the top 8 public and private companies. Meta's not even on it, and this is after spending hundreds of millions of dollars getting their team here. So absolutely essential article.
Yeah, one of the things that, in addition to what John highlighted, one of the things that they talk about is the speed of conversion at much higher rates than what we've seen in software. And adoption is higher and the conversion is higher. And it's going to the external vendors rather than building in-house. So this is like really interesting dynamics, all supported with data. Okay, Adam, Ankaj, we're going essential. Okay with that?
100%. There's the vertical AI market map and the departmental AI market map. Those in themselves, I mean, there's so many screenshots I've already taken out of this and forwarded to all sorts of people in my organization. It's really rich with insights, and I think there's valuable takeaways for everyone.
Yeah, it's certainly a must read, and forwardability of this is really high. Okay, great. Essential it is. Let's proceed to the next one, Ankaj.
Okay, the next one is a case study from Microsoft, and it is titled Banco Bradesco Streamlines Customer Service with Azure AI Foundry.
Yeah, we finally see a case in Microsoft that rivals AWS. What did you think about this, Adam?
I think this is a perfect use case, a perfect case study. It's so well written. It so clearly illustrates the architecture, the impact, what they did, how they did it. They just absolutely nailed it. It's incredible. So this is what I see really is in many ways the future of where all of this is going right now. And we've seen it with AWS, as you said, Luda, but the first time for Microsoft, it's a case study about a multi-agent framework and about how by effectively having specialist agents and then having all of these separate use cases coming together, you can compound that value for your organization and then really create an efficient way to continue to foster innovation and future development. It really just stitches the whole thing together. It's an essential read.
Okay, essential from Adam. Chris?
I would say important, a good use case to follow and see what's going on. So important.
Okay, so Adam is very exuberant about this.
Well, look at the impact alone; it's extraordinary.
Yeah, no, it's a great case. Paul, what did you think?
I'm with Adam, just in the sense that this is a really good first detailed case that we've seen from Microsoft, and 95% of corporate IT is Microsoft shops at one level. So you need to be aware of it. It's great there's multiple agent here, and kudos for them. Hopefully they're being nudged by AWS to get more comprehensive, because we're not seeing that with the OpenAI Anthropic case studies.
Well, it also focuses on customer service, that one of the main use cases, and they report the resolution 83% external and 80% internal. Tickets resolution. This is quite massive, and how they did it is very cool. Okay, so we're going essential. Any objections, John?
No, I'll say essential.
Essential. Paul?
Yeah, no, essential as well. And I think just the highlight as well. I mean, John and I had another call with a major PE firm this week, and they want case studies. I mean, people everywhere want case studies and not announcements, and this fits right into that.
Yeah. Ankash, essential. We're going essential. Okay.
Essential, Luda. Yes.
Essential it is. Let's proceed.
Okay, the last one comes from O'Reilly, and it is titled "What If AI in 2026 and Beyond."
One would call it a thought-provoking piece, I guess. What did you think about this, Chris?
So very thought-provoking. O'Reilly, obviously, in the book publishing, so it's good to see their approach and what they view the future of AI. They sort of broke it down into two scenarios. Are we moving towards like an economic singularity, or is this just a normal technology? And how do you distill that into not only your business, but the economy and civilization is sort of a larger approach. They were also looking at, is this a bubble that's about to bust, or is this something that's going to have some sustainability? I think the Menlo Ventures article is of higher order, but this I would also put up there. They have a really nice one-page graphic in here that I would call that totally essential because it's a quick read and it's a one-page infographic that goes through this article. But seeing where the future is and where O'Reilly with their place in publishing, where they see the AI movement going.
Okay, so important from Chris. What did you think, John?
Same, important.
Important. I was triple optional on this one. Paul, what did you think?
Yeah, I was triple optional. I mean, one, it doesn't affect anything on data. I think I want to encourage everyone. This is my pet peeve. AI, when we talk about bubble, we need to get more specific. There's a financial bubble, and then there's a usage bubble here. There's no evidence that the usage bubble is going to slow down. There's no evidence that all this AI usage is going to be like Clubhouse and Pointcast, where all these people use it and are going to stop using it here. So
Pointcast, I haven't heard that for a while.
I know I'm really dating myself there, but yeah, I'm with you, Luda. Triple optional, and they're wasting time being a debate like this. They need to go get problems solved and case studies internally documented.
Yeah, and I really disagreed with the two paths. Neither of them are correct, really, if you think about it. It's not a nomen technology and it's not an economic singularity. So so I felt that this is just missed the point completely. Later on, they have some items that hit, but not their preamble. Ankash, what did you think about this one?
Super optional, Luda.
All right. I think, let me ask Adam. Adam, what did you think? You have the last book.
I didn't realize, Luda, that there were things down at the bottom that might have been of some use. I had trouble getting past the title. When I read What If, and it was an AI article that long, I was almost like, I can't imagine that this is going to be a good use of my time.
All right.
How many people can say what if and talk about AI? Everyone can, but it didn't just bring enough value to me to really make it worthwhile.
Okay, so democracy rules, it's optional. And as Ankash prepares the scorecard, let's have any announcements, Paul, John, Chris?
Two announcements. John, you want to talk about your learning lab this Monday on the AI-powered organization?
Yeah, this Monday we're going to be talking about how everybody is on a clock to become a hybrid organization by 2030. We call T-60, and going to talk about what does that mean? How should you worry about it? Who should worry about it? How you should think about your maturity in your organization, and what areas are good applications, and then really what it means financially to be a hybrid organization, how you get there, and kind of leverage you get. So, and we'll be doing different case studies and so forth.
Yeah, that's great. And some companies have T-60 months. Some companies are T-36 months. So
or less, yeah.
Less, yeah.
Right.
And then the other announcement is tomorrow we have at noon Eastern, we have our weekly ChatGPT free 101 training for people to be AI empowered employees.
Wonderful. So Chris, since we have a minute left, I rushed everyone, but we have a minute left. Do you want to talk about what's happening on your side and what you are excited about in applying AI?
Sure. We are working on some really cool announcements. You'll see them before the end of the year. Some of the work that we've been doing on quantum proof, and then some of the work we're doing in mathematics, it's starting to come together. We feel that we have some really cool things to share. Keep your eyes peeled, especially in this spectral geometric approach to mathematics. So as you're seeing these talks about mathematical sort of AIs or AI scientists, we're trying to develop our own and share that, what our findings, what we can put out there. So we're starting to get a lot of interest, and I do believe we'll make some announcements before the new year. So thank you so much for having me. If I don't make it back on the show until 2026, happy holidays to everybody. Everybody have an enjoyable time, and keep your eye on AI. It'll be an interesting 30 days before I'm back.
Okay, thank you, Chris. And for today, we have 3 essentials, 1 important, and the rest are optional. 3 essentials. All right. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Thank you, Chris, for joining. Thank you for your opinions, and we'll see you tomorrow.